Hey guys, this is Odd1 Gaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. This one has to be, hands down, one of the most fun videos that I will ever make. And the reason for that is, well, I'm basically going to be fighting the Sand Devil and I'm going to be bringing Armiger as my DPS. You heard that right. I'm going to be bringing the uncommon Armiger, you know, the OG, the best... I guess he's the best uncommon in the whole game, and I'm gonna bring him to tackle the Sand Devil, and it's not gonna be a 10-minute run, but at the same time it's not gonna be a 1-minute run. It's gonna be a little bit longer, and basically this is like a 3-minute 30 up to 5-minute run by using the OG Armiger, and it's basically all about this A2. So the reason why he's gonna be so good, it's also because of the fact that, you know, there has been some nerfs done to the Sand Devil, which means he has a little bit less defense, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I saw, and that basically allows us to use Armiger's max HP to be bringing some decent damage in there, and that's what I'm gonna be doing. And well, while we are doing that, we're also going to be farming food, okay? So keep that in mind. You're going to be using Armiger, you're going to be farming food, and it's basically going to be the duo comp by using Godseeker and Eerie. And honestly, this one has become a little bit easier as well. Maybe I'm going to make a different video where I specifically go over the whole thing, but I'm going to show this as well here. And the thing is, because of the way that the counters have been increased for the Sand Devil as well, the duo comp with Godseeker has become a little bit easier, and you know, it's totally a game changer, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. But the thing that I love the most is the fact that I'm using Armiger. One massive warning, I want to say from the beginning, this team only works if you bring food champions that are uncommon or lower. Keep that in mind. If they're not uncommon or lower, this is not going to work, because this whole team relies on Godseeker reviving herself with the passive. And then when she does do this revive, she always prioritizes the higher rarity. So as an example, if I bring a rare champion, epic or legendary, in this team, she's not going to be reviving Armiger to do the damage, so this team's not going to work. 100% keep that in mind, because that's the most important thing about this team. But let's run this team and let's see how it actually goes. You know what? It's a pretty fun team, and maybe 99% of people will not be using this team because you might be having some other good DPS, like, I don't know, you might be having a Gnut, you might be having a Crisias, you might be using an HP Burner, you might have a Ninja, Chronum. So obviously the DPS spot is pretty flexible in there, okay? You don't have to use Armiger. However, if you're that unlucky that you do not have Gnut, Ninja, Chronum, you know, all of the regular normal DPS, or even Marius, that's going to be one of the newer DPS, then Armiger can actually come in here and slowly trickle down the Sand Devil, as you see over here. It is a little bit, you know, some gear specific. Some pieces of gear might be harder to obtain, but it's basically, I tried to see what I could min-max in order to just bring Armiger to do this in as faster time as possible. Obviously, if you don't have as strong as gear as I'm going to show you, it doesn't mean it's not going to work. It just means it's going to be a little bit slower because of the fact that Armiger is only going to be doing the max HP hit over here, and then after that he might just always be dying over here. The reason why he's so good as well for 25 is because he is strong affinity, which means he has a chance to be weak hit. If he does get weak hit by the Sand Devil, especially with the second hit, he gets a chance to, he has the chance to survive, and then he can keep doing those A2s. You see that, 81k. And then he basically does, you know, he just keeps bringing, there you go, it procced the decreased cooldown. The reason why I see that is because I have him in Merciless. I actually have him in Merciless, but you can see that he does 130k when the boss is asleep, but then when he's not asleep, you saw that he does 80, what was that, like 86,000 damage. Let's watch this now. 78. So basically he does 50% less damage when the boss is awake, because the boss has that passive that takes less damage depending on how many debuffs you have on him and all of that. But if he does manage to survive, and he survives that, then he can keep doing those A2s because he has it on a really low cooldown. That's why Armiger is so cool. He has it only on a 2-turn cooldown, which means he does the A2. If he doesn't proc the Merciless, he does the A1, and then he basically comes back again. You see, okay, he didn't proc it. Now it's fine. If he survives this, let's see. Okay, he didn't. But basically, if he survives, he has a chance every time he does the A2 because of the Merciless set. He has a 30% chance, you see that, to decrease the cooldown. And basically what he's gonna do, he's gonna A2 again. And then, you know, if he procs it again, he can keep doing that cycle, and he's gonna just keep destroying the Sand Devil like he has no idea. Like, I think this poor boss has no idea what's happening. Like, why is an uncommon in this fight, and why is he killing him? You can see it slowly going there, 2 minutes 50. It's actually not that bad. If we think about the fact that the Sand Devil used to be so hard, even with HP burners, like teams with Drang and Artak, for example, before, used to take like 5 minutes, right? So having an Armiger in this team that basically does just about the same, that's just awesome for me, because you know what? Most of the times you have people like Drangs, like Artak, like, you know, other people like that you might want to have for different builds, maybe with more resist, which makes it harder to make them tanky, to make them, you know, also have the high accuracy and all of that. So if you can free up your Artax, your Dranks, or whoever you want to use in this team, and you can just bring an Armiger just to do this one, then why not do it? Again, I want to emphasize, you have to have the food that you bring alongside. It has to be uncommon or commons, because again, when this happens, if there's a rare in the team, you're gonna see that Godseeker Aniri is gonna revive that other person, you know, the rare, the epic, the whatever. After this round finishes, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna throw a rare food champion in there, and we're gonna see what happens, because again, that's the way that the AI works for revives everywhere in the game. It's not just this fight. Everywhere in the game, the AI prioritizes reviving, at least the single target ones, obviously, because it's not AoE, but the single target revives, they always prioritize the higher rarity, okay? Higher rarity first, and only after that position. What do I mean by that? Well, in the positioning, I have 4 uncommons over here, but I have Armiger as the second one. If I don't have Armiger as the second one, Godseeker is gonna revive somebody else. So let me just show you that first, okay? With positioning, let me just swap them around. Let's have Food Champion and Armiger in there. I think Armiger is still gonna do his right stuff, but check this. We'll just watch what's happening, just so you are aware, because it's the same principle in every other area of the game. Okay, she revives, and then see, she revived the person that was further in the turn order than Armiger, okay? How do you know the turn order? Well, it's pretty simple. Let's just go in there. Let's just go to the team preset. If this lets me go away, I don't need all these notifications. I know what I've done. So if you go over here and we look, okay, the first one's always going to be the leader, but then after that, after you place them, you're going to see number 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay? And if you do the same thing over here, just to show you, this is how the turn order works. So number 1, number 2 is always going to be this spot, 3, 4, and 5, 4, and 5. So you kind of get it. I think it's pretty, I'm not 100% sure it's mandatory to have a preset, but you know what? Just to be safe, have this preset, and let me show you exactly what happens. Nothing over here, just Armiger. I'm making him prioritize the A2. Anything else does not really matter. Now let me show you the same thing, but with a rare champ, okay? Even though Armiger's further up the position, let me show you exactly what happens, because you know what? Again, this happens in any area of the game, and you can see she revived the rare, so that's not gonna work anymore, because, well, if Armiger's not revived, we don't have that damage in there, okay? So let me just quickly show you the build. I'm gonna shortly go over Godseeker Niri, because I wanna make another video. I wanna keep testing to see how low her speed can be, but basically Godseeker is in Regen plus Immortal, really low speed, lots of defense. You want to have high defense, high HP, standard mastery is the same ones that I had on her before, but the main event, Armiger, like I said, he's in a 6-piece Merciless, but they're not perfect pieces, keep that in mind. This one's an attack ring, it did roll some defense, crit damage with some defense. This one again, it's a defense, barely rolled defense once. I have no speed in here, so it's not the perfect one. 5-star weapon, 5-star helmet, 5-star shield. This one's a pretty decent one, the gauntlet crit damage with ascending crit rate and crit rate over here. Not the perfect one over here. I would prefer to have, like, you know, crit damage as well in here if I could, and then ascend the defense percent. And then this one speed with crit rate. Basically, all I care about is having him to have 100% crit rate, and then as much defense and crit damage as I can get him. And you do want him to be a little bit tanky with HP and defense, so he can try and sustain some of those hits. And the speed, I think the threshold for the speed is somewhere around 220. The reason why you want him to have at that certain speed is because you want him to be revived by Godseeker Aniri, and then after that, you want him to go before the boss wakes up, so you get an A2 in there to take advantage of that extra bonus damage that you do while the boss is asleep. And again, the fact that I have Merciless, this is what makes it be really fun, because at 4 piece it has a chance to decrease the cooldown whenever he does damage, but then at 6 star it brings you the ignore defense, and that's what makes it really powerful. It might work with just a 30%, with just 4 pieces, or it might work with just lethal, with savage, you know, with some other builds, just depends on what you have. But this one makes it like, you know, the min-max of it is having 6-piece Merciless. If not, go with Savage, Lethal, Instinct, whichever other else you have. Just make sure you have 100% crit rate, 220 speed, and then, you know, you're just gonna kill it maybe a little bit slower. When it comes to masteries, I went down the offense tree, got War Master, and one thing that's really important, do not get Retribution on him, because you want to save on time. If you get Retribution, every time he loses more than 25% of his HP, he has a 50% chance to walk up to the boss and hit him with the A1. You don't want that. You want him to do the A2s as often as possible. That's why I chose to go this way, and then I just took Cycle of Revenge, because it does not change the way the team works in any way. But yeah, and one thing that also helps is you want to have Life Drinker as well, because Life Drinker helps you heal up a little bit whenever he does the A2, so that he can try and stay alive. So even when the boss, you know, does that big hit on the A2 that normally should kill him, if you heal up enough, he should survive. Another way that you can maybe try and keep yourself alive is if you have 1 piece of Immortal. That could help, you know, 3%, one set of Immortal, which is a 2-piece set. Because every time he gets a turn, he heals 3% of that HP, of his max HP. He can, you know, maybe has a chance to keep himself alive. I just didn't have a, you know, a decent enough set to try and keep the stats that I wanted. But anyway, this was the whole team. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, I really have fun. I really love seeing Armiger just keep destroying the stand level on 25. Just, you know, it's really fun. And it's been a while since I had so much fun with a team like this. But anyway, this is gonna be it for today, guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.